Hey everybody, Keith Porter here, back with the gang from It Came from GenX, Brian Fisher, Mike Skinner. We are together again for a brand new show. We talked about targeted solicitations. How do you get on a list like that? Do you like being approached out in the streets or even at your home? We talked about football, college football, the Big Ten realignment that's going to happen next year. What do you guys think about that? Is this too much? Is it all about money? Also, death. Bobby Knight, the great NCAA basketball coach, has passed away at age 83. Did you like Bobby Knight? What you remember most about him? Pop culture, HBO. Remember HBO home box office? The format changed a few times over the years. What will you remember for? It's sports content, it's movies, or maybe it's original content. Some of the greatest shows ever. Game of Thrones, The Sopranos. We'll talk about that. Also, Blockbuster Video. Do you like the video rental experience? Was that something special to you, or was it a pain in the butt? Also, we got a new segment, GenX Rants, where we go off on anything that's bothering us. I'm tired of kids not being able to count change in the store. They don't know how to count backwards. They don't know how to give you proper change unless they got a computer in front of them. Also, we talked about 2.5 hour, 3 hour movies. Do you like these type of movies, or should they put some intermission in between them? All this and a lot more on It Came from Gen X. Here we go.
This is an It Came from Gen X video.
Hey, welcome everybody. It's time for another fun-packed hour of It Came from Gen X. Keith Porter back here. Missed you guys last week, along with Mike Skinner and Brian Fisher, my partners in crime. They towed the line for our last show. But hey, here we are. It is November 2023, my favorite month of the year, my best month of every single year. And it's already started off with a bang, so to speak. No pun intended there. I'll tell you more later. But hey, we're welcome. We're glad to be back. And guys, thanks for towing the line last week. What's going on, Skinner?
Oh, crazy Skinner household. Nothing's changed. Just a day. And this damn time change has got me all screwed up. I'm not going to lie. But other than that, we're good.
I got to tell you the truth. I didn't even know we had a time change. So I looked at the clock yesterday. Was a little confused. The one on my stove. I didn't even pay attention. That's usually like a big deal every year. It gets less and less a big deal with me. I didn't even notice it.
Well, my internal alarm clock is always set for 4:30 every morning.
Yeah.
And that's just goes all the way back to my military days. Well, now that the time change goes back an hour, my alarm clock is 3:30. So I sit wide awake at 3:30 in the morning going, my shift doesn't start till at the earliest 7 a.m. What am I going to do for 3.5 hours to not wake up the rest of the household? So,
hey Fish, his eternal alarm clock is Marcy hitting him in the head with a shoe. Get up!
Yeah, no kidding.
Right.
All right, Fisher, what's going on, brother?
Yeah, good week, man. Allie's birthday was last week, so we had some nice, little celebrating there. A good time together, nice dinner and everything. I went to a haunted house for the first time in probably 30 some years. I don't know. So Dean, I do the Convincing Idiots podcast. His son just turned 12. He's into all that stuff. So I'm like, we went. We had a great time. It was fun. I would do it again. Actually, I enjoyed it a lot more than I thought I would. So, shout out to
Allie's feeling better.
Allie's feeling better. Yes, thank you very much. She just got back from Chicago. Took Marlo, her daughter, to see Hamilton for her daughter's one of her 18th birthday gifts. Marlo turned 18 on the 1st of November. I'm sorry, 1st of October. Excuse me, 1st of October. She turned 18. Allie's birthday was November the 1st, but they had a great girls trip, a lot of fun, museums, the show, everything was great. They just got back home today. So,
okay.
Yeah, awesome.
All right. Good. I can't even remember what I did this weekend. I tell you, it's like a blur.
Yeah, I guess so.
but it was the first weekend I've had off in a long, long time. I know I got some good gym time in, and I want to say a big congratulations to my son Steele and his fiance Amber. They just put a bid in on the house. They got their house.
Oh, great!
It is
Wonderful.
unbelievable. Yeah, and it is unbelievably gorgeous, man. I'm so proud of him. It's man, I've never thought my son would live in a house like this, and I'm just really excited for them. Their life's moving ahead. So congratulations, guys. Yeah. All right, guys. Well, it's been a minute. Glad to be back. I see my man Skinner's wearing his brown shirt today. They were victorious this weekend over a lowly Arizona Cardinals. I got to tell you the truth. I don't know how you hold a team to 50-some yards and you don't win 40-0. It should have been 50-60-0, but oh well. They still beat them down. But all right, guys, let's get the show cracking. Fish, tell them where they can find the show.
All right. Well, you might be listening to us wherever you listen to podcasts. Simply find the It Came From GenX podcast. Give us a free follow or subscribe. Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Overcast, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio. Wherever you listen to podcasts, you can find us. You might be watching us on our YouTube channel at It Came From GenX. All videos are there, segments, etc. All show information, 2 main spots. Our Linktree page is simply Google Linktree. It Came From GenX. It's simply a page with links to our social media, etc. If you go to one place, go to our website. It came from genx.wordpress.com. All show information is there. Links to current episodes, videos, bios, ways to sponsor the show, etc. So if you do anything at all, rate, review out there on Apple Podcasts. Helps others find us. Tell a friend, and we appreciate your support. Thank you.
Absolutely. And I have been waiting weeks to do this. I want to give a little bit of love to Portillas Towing and Hauling. They're located at 736 Cleveland Avenue, Southwest in Canton, Ohio. About a month ago, coming out of rehearsal for the Addams Family, I was showing someone some of the improvements I made on the Jeep, and I locked my car key. And I tell you what, I cannot believe how secure this Jeep is. We could not get in for nothing. It was freezing. We were locked out of the church, and my bag with my wallet was on the inside. And I called the police. They wouldn't come help. So I called the closest tow truck to me, and it was way more money than I didn't have any money. There was one guy left there. He had so much money left in his pocket. And I told him I couldn't afford that. And I hung up. They called back and said, hey, it looks like you're kind of close by, real close. I can do it for so much if you have cash. I didn't have any cash. Buddy of mine was like, well, I'll go to ATM, see what I got. And I said, I appreciate it. But when he left, a few minutes later, the tow truck pulled up. The owner of the company, Ryan Portilla, got out. He goes, man, you're so close. I'm on my way somewhere, and I was coming right by. Let me just help you out with whatever you got in your pocket right now. And that guy worked and worked and worked till he got me in my Jeep. And I wasn't even able to hardly give him anything, but he was just so kind-hearted. He talked about some of the struggles he'd been through and how he believed in helping people. And I told him, man, I would just show you some love on our podcast, because we appreciate when we find good business out there. So Portillas Towing and Hauling, just an awesome place, an awesome owner. Ryan Portilla, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. You saved my butt that night, because it was pretty cold, man. And you worked pretty hard. So check those guys out. Definitely an honest businessman that you can deal with. Portillas Towing and Hauling in Canton. Love them. All right. Cool.
Very good.
All right. Hey, haven't heard from my man in a long time. Let's talk some world news with my boy Skinner. Come on. He goes, surprises today. He wants raw reaction today, man. So we don't know what's coming. Fish and I have no idea what's coming down the pipe.
Nope. Kind of blindsiding you. First of all, shout out to our producer, my son, Michael Skinner Jr. As always, thank you for what you do.
I'm so glad you said that. Listen, I didn't get a chance to. I got a recording from our producer, Michael Skinner Jr., Skinner's son, and his lovely wife, Marin. And I got to tell you what, I am so blown away by this recording. I can't stop listening to it. It is just as good, not better, as anything I've heard out there in this genre. His musicianship is excellent. Her voice is, oh my God. I hope they really put something out there for the world to hear, because it is one of the most excellent recordings I've heard in a long time. And I'm really, really proud of them, man. So just wanted to point that out.
Right. Yeah. Nope, I agree with you. I remember you said, "Hey, did you hear this recording?" And I couldn't even remember it because it had been a little while, but then went back and I'm like, yeah, at first I didn't think it was Marin either, because it was
oh my gosh, that good. Yeah,
just that good. Tomorrow's voting day, so if you are a registered voter, please do your civic duty and
absolutely.
Do so last evening, I'm out raking leaves and trying to clear out the yard, the one of 50 times it takes to get rid of the leaves in my neighborhood. And gentleman pulls into my driveway as I'm using the blower, and I'm actually doing the driveway, and he says, "Okay to park here?" I'm like, yeah, and he's got a package in his hand, and he proceeds to go to my door. Now, as you guys know, I've got a double driveway that I share with my neighbor, and it was actually technically on my neighbor's side of the driveway, so he may have thought I was the neighbor. He proceeded to walk up to the porch. I shut the blower down, and I walked over and I said, "Do you need somebody to sign, something to be signed?" He goes, "No." I looked at him, and okay, and I walked away. Guy is on my porch for a little bit of time, and probably 5-7 minutes went by, and then all of a sudden he forward this, and I watched him take off. So after I finished my chores, I was sitting in the garage before I get ready to make dinner, and Marcy goes, do you know who that SOB was? Came to our house?" And I go, "No, was he delivering something?" She goes, "No. He was soliciting the issue 1 in tomorrow's Ohio ballot." He was, I guess Ashley, Marcy's Ashley answered the door, and he was there for quite a few minutes, and finally Marcy caught wind of what was going on, and she abruptly looked at him and said, "Will you please leave my property, leave my house? Thank you." And I'm not going to get into the politics of issue 1 or what the meat of it is. The problem is this gentleman came in a private car, selected our house, drove in to our driveway, went to our door, spoke, left, and then he didn't stop at another house on our block. And as you guys know, there's 12 houses on our street. He was completely gone. So this was a targeted solicitation to my house. That's where the problem lies. Why did he target our house of all places for this amendment? Whether you're for it, whether you're against it, whether you believe in and for those of you that aren't here in Ohio, issue 1 is about the ban of abortion in the state of Ohio. Now, little backstory: you married my daughter-in-law, or my daughter Amy and Dylan, my son-in-law.
Yes.
So you know the family. You both know the family very well. Amy had a topical pregnancy about 3 years ago. That if she didn't have surgery, which in this case would be considered aborting, she would have died. Those ectopical pregnancies are very dangerous to women. Let's say that this would have happened to her now, since the abortion ban has taken into place. She can't have the surgery by law. even though her life is at risk if they continue to allow that to happen. So Marcy obviously has a very strong opinion towards this whole situation. So my problem is that I'm going to go back to it, was that targeted solicitation at my house. How the hell did that happen? Why did it happen? And what do I need to do to prevent this from happening again? Whether it's religion, whether it's politics, whether you're selling something, whether it's the Girl Scouts that are trying to sell cookies, I don't want these people in my house after what happened yesterday. And I just wanted to bring that to light today and have your guys' opinions to see if I'm off base as the male figure in the house trying to protect my family, because it really pissed off Miss Marcy and upset her to the point that she had a rough evening last night for a little bit after that guy left. So the floor's open.
Okay. I would never tell you guys are off base. You feel how you feel, but I would like to offer something that may help you be maybe a little more understanding. As you know, I got my bachelor's in political science. When I was at University of Akron, I got involved in the political process. I had no idea what I was getting involved in. And once I did, I learned a lot, but I actually hated it very much. There's a certain type of person that's cut out for that type of work. I wasn't that person. I admire their tenacity. They are some of the most eager, get up and go, fanatical people you'll ever want to be around, to the point that it's annoying. But it wasn't for me. I mean, we were out in the middle of nowhere and we're knocking doors, talking about people, about issues. These people didn't want to quit. They didn't want to go home. It was dangerous. They're walking up dark driveways and all this stuff. I'm like, get me the heck up out of here. But that being said, we had lists. Okay. So everything that you do now, you get put on some kind of a list. All right.
Right.
You think that when you go to Acme and you got an Acme card, that they're just willing to give you discounts for no reason, you're fooling yourself. You are going on a list. Sometimes those lists are bought. Like the Acme thing or the grocery store thing. You got those discount cards because the insurance company buys those lists. You know, are you insurable? Are you buying cigarettes and beer all the time? Do you buy any fresh fruits? They're calculating all that stuff. Okay. And in politics, the way you vote, who lives in your household, all these things put you on the list. We had very specific lists. Hey, this person right here voted this way last time, or has 3 women in the house, and that's part of it. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know if that's the case, but I'm just saying this is what I learned. And the other thing I wanted to say, to offer, everything that you see happen in politics, it starts with a grassroots effort. It's the American way. Nothing just says, hey, let's just put this out there and see what happens. It has to start with a grassroots effort, meaning feet on the ground, knocking on doors. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's a survey, passing out or getting people to sign petitions, passing out pamphlets, all that stuff has to start with people walking, knocking on doors. And if we didn't have that, I don't know what the process would look like in this country. So I've had them come to my house too recently and telling me stuff that I don't agree with, whatever. But I don't get upset because I understand that's part of the process. I hate when I go up here to vote up at Bookto, they're stopping me outside, giving me a voting card. This is how you want to vote down the line. Just assuming I'm a Democrat. Don't tell me how to vote or who to vote for and what to vote for.
Right.
You know, I never tell them I'm a Republican, but I just assuming that I'm a Democrat and they give me a sheet. Here, this is how you want to vote. get out of my face with that. But like I said, I do get it. I understand. So every issue, everything that goes on in politics has to start with that grassroots effort. And there's a number of reasons why your house was specifically targeted. You know what I'm saying? They have all kind of information on past voting, the way you voted last time, or who lives in the household, the last census that was taken in that household. You know what I'm saying? I mean, how long have you been there?
3 years.
3 years.
3.5 years.
Yeah, so the last census that was taken, that information could have been somebody else that was in that house. You never know. So there's a lot of reasons for that. That's just my thoughts.
I got you.
I get that side of it too. For me, if some guy come up to my house with balloons and a fucking large check, I'd still be hard pressed to open that door. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, I don't know this guy.
Ed McMahon.
It could be Ed McMahon himself. Somehow came back from the grave, wanting to give me the Publishers Clearinghouse check. I'd be like, man, I don't know who you are, man. I ain't opening that door. No, I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying, though, man. I don't prefer that stuff either. It does make me uncomfortable for any reason. If anybody's knocking on my door for any reason I don't know, whatever it is, it just makes me uncomfortable. Not that I'm afraid of anything. It's just that I don't want to get in any type of conversation with somebody I don't want to get into. So I get what you're saying, though, Keith. I appreciate what you're saying. But if someone does ask, though, hey, I'm not interested, please leave, that person should leave right away and respect your decision and everything else and move on. That if you start to get into a debate with people that would like you to leave their porch, that can get uncomfortable and awkward for a lot of people. You know what I mean? So if your tact is
for the
good,
record, I don't like it either. And I don't like when somebody comes up to me when I'm getting out at the grocery store saying, "Hey, can you sign this petition? We're starting to do this or that." I don't have enough information in the 10 seconds you just told me what this is for. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure you're leaving out a great deal of it. How do I know you're telling me the truth? And you want me to put my signature on something because you just told me what this is for in 5 seconds.
Yeah.
No, I'm not going to just sign something and I don't even know what I'm really signing and what all the facts are. And this is the first time I've heard about it. So I didn't say I liked it. I'm just saying it's the American way.
Yeah, I get it.
I get it. And I guess my biggest problem was this wasn't some boots on the ground. It was a guy pulling in our driveway specifically, and then left the neighborhood after it was. So
that would make me real suspect. Like, wait a minute. If you saw him going door to door, that'd be one thing. But
I mean, I get if he was showing up and saying, "I want to make sure that we don't want any more kids coming out of this family." Right. We need to sign this agreement, something.
He thought the Skinner household would be primed for abortion.
Yeah, they should have thought that with having 7 girls. I think, they should have rethought that process. Anyways, no, I appreciate you guys' information. It just,
absolutely,
like I said, I didn't want to get into the subject of the issue 1 because that's just that's not what this show is about. It was it was the specific target of my house that really upset Marcy, and it upset because, to be honest, he discarded me when I said, "Hey, do you got something you need to sign?" And he said no, and he looked away, and I'm like standing in my own driveway going, "Well, who the hell is this SOB?" So I just went on with what I was doing, and then I find out, half an hour later after I'm done, that there was an issue that I probably should have asked the guy to leave myself. But anyways, I appreciate you guys listening. And for those out there, like I said, whether you for or against any of the subject matters that are going up for debate tomorrow, please go out and exercise your right to vote because it starts with you.
Yeah.
All right, fellas.
Issue 1 is one of the I think it's one of the toughest subjects to deal with out there right now, and so we need everybody to vote for sure. All right, thanks. We'll move on to some sports and music. Definitely starting off with little sports. We had a few deaths in the last week or so, and one of those touched the sports world. Hall of Fame coach Bobby Knight has passed away at the age of 83. I don't know if there's ever been a more polarizing college coach than Bobby Knight. He coached at Indiana for years. Winning a national championship. A lot of great players came out of there. Calbert Chaney, and he was known for not only being a great coach and having a brilliant mind, but his temper was legendary. There's some iconic video, him throwing chairs on the court, even choking a player. He had to deal with that aftermath, and just a lot of stuff that came with Bob Knight. But he was well loved and respected by many. A lot of coaches fall up under his tree. He was the youngest coach actually in Division I history in 1965 at 24 years of age. And man, he coached some iconic teams. That one Indiana team, they were just like unbeatable back in the day, I believe in the 80s. But Bob Knight dead at 83. What's your biggest memory of Bob Knight, Fish?
Like you say, he's a really interesting figure. He won 3 championships. He's an Ohio State kid, right? So
yes,
coached Isaiah Thomas, right? Didn't Isaiah Thomas come from Indiana?
Yeah.
But like you said, right along with that is all the really weird behavior as far as just losing his freaking mind, and again, him laying a hand on that kid. That's not just choking like you already mentioned it, choking a player. He got in a lot of trouble for that, of course, as he should have. But yeah, it's amazing he lived so long. I mean, you thought he would have dropped over dead at any time as much as he was ranting and raving and everything on the court. So yeah, I don't think that type of style is any place at all in modern coaching. I mean, yelling and this and that's certainly one thing. That's just part of it. But he just went to new heights with all that stuff. So you're right. He's going to be remembered for those two things: winning, but he was also kind of a nutcase out there on the court. And the fact that he laid a hand on. If I was that kid's parents, man, I would not have tolerated any of that. I'm sure his parents didn't. But anyway. Yeah, very, very interesting figure in college sports, that's for sure.
Well, absolutely. Skinner?
Yeah, I can't really add too much more. I knew he was an Ohio State kid. I couldn't remember if he coached at Ohio State, but I knew he
played there.
But he came from the program, but I realize now that he was a player.
Mm-hmm.
I remember Bobby Knight, just like you said, a most polarizing coach I've ever seen in any sport. And it sucks that he's going to be remembered more for his off the basketball game antics than he was for all the winning that he did. Mm-hmm. There's no call for, choking the kid, but I still chuckle when I see the videos of him just chucking chairs across the courts.
Yeah.
Just in a rant. It's absolutely hilarious. And he doesn't mean to harm nobody, but that was just who Bobby Knight was. So, rest in peace, my man. You are in my memory banks as one of the best coaches to ever coach the game, despite, his tactics that you can either agree or disagree on. But, he's one of a kind, that's for sure.
You want to hear some colorful language, watch some of the video that has audio of him. I mean, that man... Boy, he can string some words together at you. I was like, wow, man. Jeez, dude. Crazy, man. But, I always hated him because I remember him and when he had Calbert Chaney on the team, man, knocking Ohio State out of the tournament, and they had a great chance to go all the way. And they ran against those great Indiana teams. I was like, I always disliked them. But, he was well loved in the basketball arenas, the players and other coaches. He was well loved and well respected. So, God bless you, Bobby Knight. All right. So the other sports story I wanted to talk about today, and it's really been bothering me hearing more and more about it. We are, of course, in Ohio, Northeast Ohio. All three of us, we might not agree on NFL teams, and certainly none of us do. that is for sure. But we are certainly Ohio State through and through. We love our Buckeyes, and the Big Ten has been one of the greatest and storied divisions in all of college football. The Michigan-Ohio State rivalry is considered maybe the greatest rivalry in all of college football and the biggest game of the year. Certainly, we're headed that way now with them. They're listed as 1 and 3 in the playoff rankings right now. So it's going to be a great matchup again this year. But right now, man, I don't know what they're doing in college football with this new realignment. And the Big Ten has always been these Midwest teams where we grow them big, big linemen. We used to have just the great running games and decent receivers and quarterbacks that got the job done. As long as you can play great defense and run the football, you can get by in the Big Ten. Now, Ohio State, we got these receiving teams, putting out all these great wide receivers. We got 2 Ohio State quarterbacks in the NFL playing right now. Unheard of. You know what I'm saying? And Alabama got, 2 or 3 playing. It's just crazy. Never has happened before. But the Big Ten is changing. The realignment already got weird when you added Rutgers and Maryland. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, huh? But now we are going to add UCLA, USC. That right there alone is like, that doesn't even make any freaking sense. 2 California teams in the Big Ten. That's just stupid. Oregon and the University of Washington.
Yeah.
All coming to the Big Ten. It doesn't make any sense to me. I don't know how a volleyball team can afford to fly out to California to play UCLA or track. How are you going to have a track meet? Yeah, it's just stupid. I don't understand how this is going to happen. If UCLA has to have a track meet in against Ohio on their thing, you're going to come here, in the winter. It's just stupid. The whole alignment is stupid, and I don't understand why they're doing it like this. So I didn't know if you guys had any thoughts about this. Again, this is something I didn't say too much about in the pre-show, but any thoughts on this, Skinner?
I tend to agree with you. I don't know what the hell they're doing. The furthest we travel, when I say we, because I'm not part of the football team, but Ohio State's in my blood. They travel to Nebraska, and that's a good 2.5, 3 hour flight.
Yeah,
so,
let me read these off real quick. These are the Big Ten as we know it. Michigan, Michigan State, Ohio State, Penn State, Indiana, Purdue, Northwestern, Illinois, Nebraska, Minnesota, Wisconsin, Rutgers, and Maryland. Minus Rutgers and Maryland. All right here in this nice little neat circle in the Midwest. Same type of weather, all in every single one of those places. And, I mean, it just fits. Go ahead, buddy.
So now you're going to travel to USC to play an away game? Or are you going to travel to the Pacific Northwest and play Washington or Oregon? I know it's why they're doing it. It's because of money. And I know why the West Coast is trying to get onto the East Coast because nobody sees them. By the time 7, 8 o'clock at night comes around, people are tired of watching football.
Okay,
and
that's a good thought.
Their thing.
Okay, never thought about that. Yeah.
Unless you're watching a 4 o'clock game on the East Coast, which is the Oregons have been playing lately, and USC's been playing a lot of 4 o'clock games.
Yeah.
That's 1 o'clock in the afternoon out there. But most of the time, those games are 7, 8, 9, 10 o'clock at night. And people aren't watching them. So I know it's money. I don't agree that these student athletes, and you've got to remember, these damn athletes are students first. They've got to, and you're sending them clear across country to play games, or those kids over there on the West Coast coming all the way to the East Coast to play games. I don't like it.
And I'm wondering how it's going to affect the pros, even in the draft stock. Like when I look at it, like at my Steelers personally, when we go to draft, I'm always thinking, hey, get your receivers from the ACC or the SEC. Speed, okay? Get your linemen from the Big Ten, you know, big corn-fed country boys. Get that can play in the cold because we're in the cold. Don't get a lineman from USC. You know what I'm saying? Or Miami or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Get somebody that can play in the cold. Well, this might change all that. You know what I'm saying? Because these guys are to get some experience playing games in places they might not be used to. You know, imagine USC playing, Ohio State in November. You know what I'm saying? That might be a little crazy. So,
or going up to Wisconsin in November, late November.
Yeah, Minnesota, something like that. Okay, Fish, thoughts?
No, those are all good points. It does make. First of all, you're right. When the students, they don't care about those kids. Unfortunately, they're going to run them all over the place for money, and that's too bad. But it does, create some interesting playoff thoughts. Also, a lot of those teams you just mentioned are in the top 25. That's coming over, right? So, it might make the season a little bit more interesting. Like, to be honest with you, I could not care less personally about watching a school like Ohio State or some of these other big schools just mop the floor with some of these other programs. Now, I get it. Now, they're making money too. I understand that too. So it's an opportunity for those kids to play against a big school. It's a good exposure, good experience. I get all that too. But I have no interest to watch any college beat another school 40 to zip, 50 some to zip, or this and that. It is not entertaining for me one iota. And now your conference games, there's going to be a lot more tougher games for any school in that conference. You know what I mean?
Okay, Fish, good point. Listen to this. Think about it now. If this alignment had already happened, Ohio State maybe would have to play USC, ranked, got the reigning Heisman Trophy winner on there. Washington in the top 10.
Yep.
With a Heisman candidate at quarterback playing. Oregon, another Heisman candidate playing, another ranked team. It can be a lot more parity in the Big Ten, that's fun. I love that part. You know.
Yep.
Wow.
That's it.
Okay.
That's what I got. Yep.
All right. Good points, guys. Definitely great points. Well, it's coming to 2024, so we'll see how it happens. I mean, we can't stop it. So we're going to make the best of it. OH.
IO.
All right. Okay, guys. All right. I don't have much going on in music today, guys, so I'll say whatever little I got as it builds up maybe for...
We're toying around with the idea of a GenX Rants segment here. Not that some of our other segments don't result in some rants. That's perfectly fine if it happens, but we're just going to set some time aside and see how it goes every episode. Now, we may have a rant, we may not. It's okay. We're not going to force anything. But if anybody has something that's bothering them, it could be anything. It could be about any the news. It could be sports. It could be,
I got two quick ones.
It was somebody at the store ticked you off, whatever it is, behaviors of young people, whatever it is, you can go off on it, and that's going to be our time here. So we're going to pilot that right now. Keith's got two things, and then I'll work in something afterwards. So go right ahead, sir.
Okay.
What's bothering you?
All right, two quick things. You just said one of them, somebody at the store. And I'm tell you what, I'm not going to blame these young people. Well, you know what? I am going to blame these young people.
Is this a count and change thing again?
Yes. yes. I'm done blaming the kids. I'm going to blame management for now because...
Why are you paying cash anyways? What's going on?
We are making dummy because I like to have cash on me at times. All right.
Okay. All right.
So
okay.
So my bill was $427, and I gave this kid $527, and he stood there and did this, and he went, "You don't need the 27. You got change coming back." I said, "Are you serious right now?" I said, "Do you not understand? I'm trying to get $1 back."
Wow.
He was just dumbfounded. I said, "Young man, can I tell you something? Do yourself a service. Learn how to count money and learn how to count money backwards. Do yourself a service."
I'm dumbfounded you had 27 cents in your pocket. What's happening? You got coins in your pocket?
I gotta change first. That's right, you young kids.
Is that what it was?
I gotta change first still, yes.
Is that one of those things that you squeeze them with your two fingers and it opens up?
Oh my
yes, I got
Lord.
one. I found one somewhere and I use it. I keep it in my bag. Yes, I do.
I got this at the bank in 1983. That's good. Still works. Damn it.
Still works. That's right. I don't know where I found it, man. I got tired of change being everywhere, so I said, I'll put it in this. It works great. It might have been my mother's or something. I don't know, man. It still works. All right, let me get to my main rant. What has happened in this world that people can't take politeness anymore? So my church went out yesterday to the park to feed the homeless like we try to do once or twice a month. And I called Little Caesars to order like a stack of pieces, or like 8 pieces. And the guy answers the phone. I say, hey, how you doing today? And his response was, what do you need?
Yep. I'm busy.
I said, hi.
I ain't got time for that.
I said, hi, how you doing today? And he hung up on me.
I got no time for that crap. I got to get these hot readies going.
To make.
I got to get these hot readies out.
I called back and had a long talk with the manager, and he was like, you know what? There's no call for that crap, man. He goes, you're right. I'll have some words. So I said, you know what? I said, society is just going to crumble if we can't even be polite to one another. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I say this all the time to people when I call, and I'll say, how you doing today? And they get silent. They're dumbfounded.
Mm-hmm.
What is that supposed to be?
How to answer that question is what it is.
It blows my mind how often it happens.
It's a loaded question, you know.
Lighten up, okay? Common courtesy manners will make your day go better, okay? Just lighten up. Gee whiz, man. Somebody says, how you doing today? And don't give me this one. Fine. And correct response, fine. How are you doing? I just don't understand it, man. It just blows my mind. I don't know. We just got idiot parents. We got idiot managers, combination of both. But it is just a lost thing, and it is really, really sad. I don't know what world I'm living on. That's my rant for today.
Okay. All right.
I'll bring the change thing up again in about 6 months.
Yeah. Yeah, these kids got to count backwards. That's one of my favorite rants of yours from the past. These kids got to count backwards. Yeah. Anyway,
I totally forgot I brought it up before. Okay.
Yeah, that's all right. No, it's fine.
I'll show you my change first next time.
I remember those. I know exactly what you're talking about too. Yep. It's like on a keychain thing. Yep.
No, not that one. The one's like a football. No, not that one. This was like a little purse, like Skinner know I'm talking about. And it's got metal ends, and you squeeze it opens up.
Oh yeah. Yep. Yeah. I know exactly what you mean. Yep.
Little leather pouch.
And wow. Thank God this is a family show, because most people won't say that looks like a football.
Man.
That's all I'm going to say.
Next. All right. That's all I got today. All right. Let's move on to some pop culture.
I'm going to give you my rant. So this is pop culture. Then we'll come back to Gen X reviews and all that stuff.
Sure.
But so new movie's out. Doing pretty good at the box office. So Martin Scorsese has a new film, Killers of the Flower Moon. So it earned $7 million this past weekend. So it's like a $52 million so far. Big name actors in this thing, right? So I'm sure it's going to be up for Oscar. So Leonardo DiCaprio, Robert De Niro, Lily Gladstone, a lot of people are in this movie. But it's about 3 hours long.
Wow.
Okay. So I have mixed emotions with these. So obviously some of these films, Oppenheimer was another one. There's a lot more movies these days, even superhero movies.
Yeah.
2.5, 2:45, 3 hours. And I have mixed feelings about these quote unquote blockbuster movies in the theaters. You're pushing 3 hours long. Sometimes people wonder, well, how come people aren't going to the movies so often? Well, I don't know. I mean, for me to go see a 3 hour long movie, that is obviously for anybody, that is a huge investment of time. You're talking, all things considered, 3.5 to 4 plus the commute. It's your entire afternoon or your entire evening, right? Now, one side of it, certainly, you're getting your quote unquote money's worth. They're not charging more money to go see it,
Right.
So you get to see a long story, and really you can really spend all the time they want to develop the storyline, the characters, and this and that and the other. But I don't know, man. So just that long of a movie, it honestly for me, it deters me often from going to the theater and sit down because I don't necessarily want to spend the time, especially if they don't give you any intermission. I'd rather wait until it's at home on streaming, where obviously you could pause it or even just stop it and come back to it later. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. So so what do you think about? I mean, I think 3 hours is too long. I think a 3-hour movie is too long to put that in the theater and expect you're going to have a lot of people come out and sit there. And definitely people will. I do want to see the movie. Don't get me wrong, right? But to put that long of a movie in the theater, especially if they don't give you intermission, I think is ridiculous. If you put a 3-hour movie in the theater, okay, fine, man. You got to give people time halfway through there, like the old-fashioned intermissions. Pause it, let people get up, stretch their legs, go to the bathroom, get a snack, whatever, and then come back to it. You can't just expect people to sit there and enjoy a 3-hour-long movie, start to finish. In my opinion.
Yeah.
So that's my little mini rant. So, wow. Keith, what do you think about these epic movies that's more commonplace these days?
Well, I thought you were done with your rant, and then you said something right there at the end, and you took the words out of my mouth. And I think that's the biggest point of it all. Me personally, I love the long movie. I love when I get more content, more development, more background story than some movies. You kind of go, hey, where did this person come from? You know what I'm saying? When they have time to give a little bit development and explanation, it makes a little more sense sometimes. Because sometimes the story can't make sense. You got to kind of read on the internet to understand. Oh, okay. You know what I'm saying? Because there's only so much time. So I love when there's a movie that has enough time to develop and you understand where everything's coming from. Now, my only problem with it is the physicality of it, sitting in a chair for that long. And you nailed it right there at the end. And we could get back to the old days of an intermission, which of course is going to make your time even longer there. But people got to go to the bathroom, man. I know I'm in pain sitting here doing this show right now on my knees. So I think that would be the key if you're going to do a movie that long. But personally, I like the long movies. The ones that I want to see, especially if it's a Marvel movie or something like that. And man, the best thing you could give me is more content, And as long as you don't waste my time. It's not a 3-hour movie for what reason? Stupid stuff. You know what I'm saying? Make it worth my while. Give me something to say. I hate those segments that you're doing this. It's the boring part of the movie or stuff like that. Make it worth my while. Make sure every minute is like, must-see TV. So, go back to the intermissions, man. People got to go to the bathroom. People got to stretch.
Yeah, absolutely. Skinner, what do you think about it? Thank you. What do you think about all that, Skinner? The epic movie.
I have two examples, and the first one goes back to 25 years ago. One night, I was coaxed into going on a double date with Coach Cooper and his wife, Amy. Well, with my first wife, and that movie was called The Titanic. That was a 3-hour and 9-minute movie that I cannot get back in my life. No. The movie was award-winning. There was a reason that they had 13 actors awards, and DiCaprio was not one of them. He was awful. He should not have been in that movie.
Really?
Anyway,
I love that movie.
That's not what this is about. But that
movie could have been 45 minutes long, that movie. Anyways, go ahead.
Yeah, the movie could have been wrapped up in an hour and a half, and we still would have been good.
The boat sank.
Yeah, exactly. The second one I have is we go back a year ago. You and I, us three here for the show, we went to dinner, and we are again with John and Amy surprised us and met us for dinner.
Right,
and then we went and saw the Batman. And that was a 2-hour, and if I remember right, it was 45 minutes.
That was long.
It was upwards of close to 3 hours, and we decided to go to the 9 o'clock movie. And the three of us struggled to stay awake or to stay alert for that entire time. It was pushing midnight by the time we got out of there.
That's because you were half lit.
Well, no, we didn't drink that night, which was a good thing. But even then, this is a DC comic book movie that we absolutely love, and we struggled with the 2 hour and 45-minute time frame in that movie, and that was a movie that we actually liked. So they've got to. While I know you understand, you like the backstories, you like the preparation. I think they need to scale it back, get it back to under 2 hours. If you go an hour 55, that's probably about the max that you need without needing an intermission that you were talking about.
Yeah. I think Skinner brings a good point too. It's harder to see that if you go at 9 o'clock at night. Then that's rough. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Maybe if you see it in the daytime, things are a little bit different. But you go at night, man. It's hard to stay. You know, this is a Gen X show. We ain't 18 or more. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
we're there napping and nodding. You know, so hey, I fell asleep in the theater one time. I was Highland Square. I woke up and the lights were out and everything. I was in the front row, punched down to sleep. Nobody knew I was there. So,
All right.
It's good rant.
So yeah, don't put unnecessary filler if it's going to be a long movie, and if you're going to have a long movie, give the patrons an intermission. You know, let them stretch and
Fisher need a nap.
Enjoy it more. That's right, man.
Peppermint Patty's invited herself, Marcy, and Franklin over for Thanksgiving dinner.
Don't you know anything about Thanksgiving dinners?
Thanksgiving is more than eating. We should just be thankful for being together.
A Charlie Brown Thanksgiving, sponsored by McDonald's. Nobody can do it like McDonald's can. And by Dolly Madison, bakers of all kinds of neat-to-eat treats.
All right, so we've been gone a couple of weeks here. Let's get into some Gen X recommends. So have you seen or heard or read or whatever, anything that you wish to recommend out there? Skinner, when we start with you this time, any recommendations this week, sir?
I'm in the middle of watching 3 different shows. They're all on Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
Oh boy.
Yeah, the first one's called The Recruit, which I think I may have talked about. It's I think it's a spinoff from the movie called The Recruit, and I think Al Pacino was in the original movie. Pretty good. It's an FBI, CIA drama, or whatever they call that. It's not a sci-fi, but drama. I'm in the 2nd and 3rd episode. It's keeping me entertained. It's just one of those things that I watch when I'm not actually physically working. Another one I've got I'm in season 2 right now, is called The House of Cards.
The Recruit is absolutely excellent. When you finish it, it will be one of your favorite things you have watched. Trust me.
I just finished the 2nd episode and I'm really enjoying it.
Oh my God! Wait till you see where it goes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep. Okay. My next one is Silence of the Lambs.
That's right.
All right. We call this technical difficulties, folks. There he is.
Yeah. Yep. I don't know why it keeps happening when I'm on the microphone. Okay, so back to House of Cards. I'm in season 3. It's a political show. I think it originally started on USA Network. Kevin
Spacey. Okay.
Yeah. I'm really good. It really gives you an insight to whether you agree or disagree on how the political world actually works. With the reporters, Kate Morrow is in it. There's a couple other names that are eluding me at the moment, but it's a really good political show if you're into that kind of movie or into that kind of setting. And one that I've just started watching, it's a 4-series show. It's called All the Light We Cannot See. There are 2 actors that you're going to know in this movie. One of them is Mark Ruffalo.
Yeah, definitely.
plays the Hulk in the Avengers movies. Hugh Laurie, aka Dr. House.
Yeah.
Wouldn't even believe that that's him when you were watching the show. And there's a third little actress. Her name is Aria Mia Liberti. She was born and raised in Rhode Island, and she is a blind individual. I kind of read her backstory. Now, this is about the show goes back to the French War back in the 1940s, and she gets separated from her father, and I won't go into it, but she was one of 1,000 actresses that applied for this part. She has no acting experience whatsoever. She went to the University of Rhode Island, and I can't remember what her major was, but she had never acted a day in her life, and she beat out 1,000 other actors and actresses for this part. So very impressive. I've watched her now, and she is phenomenal in this show.
What's it called again?
But again, it's called All the Light We Cannot See. It's on Netflix.
Okay.
It's a 4, I think, hour and 10-minute episodes, and you'll enjoy it. Like I said, it goes back to the 1940s and during the French War, and really enjoying it. I haven't finished the series yet, but I'm really enjoying it.
Okay, awesome.
Okay.
Just to reiterate that recruit that he's talking about, this young CIA agent, like his first week on the job, gets thrown into the deep end of the pool. There's a woman locked up for life in a prison. Credible actress who plays this role, and she used to be an agent, not the CIA, and she has information that could bring the agency down, and she's trying to leverage that for them to get her out of prison. And this kid, first week on the agency, gets thrown on this case, and I mean, he just ends up in so much deep crap. And when you get to the ending of the season, it's going to be like, wow, I can't wait for the next season, man. I'm going to blow your mind. Great stuff.
Very good. Keith, what about you besides that?
Okay, so on Prime Video, there was this animated series that got started. I'm trying to make sure, was it before the quarantine? Called Invincible.
Oh yeah.
And it started in 2021. And I watched the first episode, and it was like, oh, this is cool, superhero stuff. It's about this guy named Omni-Man. And he's got these amazing powers. He flies, and he's really strong. And but he's got the mustache, little white hair on him. J.K. Simmons does the voice,
That's
from
right.
J. Jonah Jameson fame. And he's got a wife, and he's got a teenage son in high school. And he's from another planet called Viltrum. He's a Viltrumite, and he's waiting for he come to Earth to help. They say that they send people out from their planet to go to weaker planets and be their protector. And he's waiting for his son's powers kick in. His son is like a senior in high school, and his powers kick in all of a sudden. So he starts training him to be a superhero, and he adopts the name Invincible. And the son is going through all the high school stuff we go through. He first girlfriend, falls in love. He's being bullied before he gets his powers, all this other different stuff. And you watch the first episode, it's like, oh man, this is great superhero stuff. And then in the second episode, there's another superhero team, kind of like the Avengers or something. And Omni-Man, this kid's father, shows up at their headquarters and murders all of them. And you're like, what the heck? Because he's that powerful. And I got through about 3 episodes of this, and I, for some reason, stopped watching. Well, 2 days ago, season 2 finally came out. And I said, let me go back and watch all of season 1. And I got to tell you what, I can kick myself for missing this. I have never seen anything like this. And when you get to the end of season 1, I've never seen so much blood, carnage, sadness. Where this series goes is unbelievable for an animated thing. But it's serious, it's very deep, but it's just animated, and it's superheroes. But it is not kiddie stuff. And I tell you what, man, it is really sad when you get to the finale of season 1. There's so much blood and death. and it's very hardcore, like punching your fist through people's head, coming out the back, that type of stuff, squeezing head. But it is unbelievable, man. You guys got to watch this series. I cannot wait to start season 2, probably tonight. So Invincible from Prime Video.
Okay, very good.
Okay.
I think Omni-Man makes an appearance in the new Mortal Kombat game. I think he's an unlockable character, if I'm not mistaken. I think, maybe. Anyway. Okay.
Oh, what else recommend?
Mm-hmm.
I sent it to Skinner. He loves it. I think I sent it to you, too. But if you have not checked out the band Eva Under Fire, I'm telling you, man, especially that first album, Anchors, it is probably some of the most incredible music I've heard in a long, long time, man. Eva Under Fire, Anchors. Check them out.
All right.
You've got a fan with Miss Marcy. I gave it to her. I said, Keith just sent me this band. I know you're going to like it. And she came back and she goes, I absolutely love it.
Oh, my God. The song Anchors and the song, there's one on there that's just, I can't stop listening to it. There's one called Betrayer, Anchors, song named after the album. And my favorite one is called Until Forever. Oh my gosh. Man, never heard nothing like it. This girl's amazing. Yeah. Eva Under Fire.
Excellent. One of the main things I'm watching right now is Loki season 2. It's episode 5 last week dropped of 6. The finales is coming Thursday.
What
very
an episode.
Good stuff. Yeah, good series. If you haven't watched this yet, go check this out. If you haven't watched Loki season 1 for some reason, watch that first and then pick this up. Very intriguing storyline. The effects are great. Acting is awesome. It's really one of the better series or really better properties that Marvel has put out there
I wish it
recently.
It wasn't Loki. I want to see Loki stuff, but it is an amazing story. And that last episode was great.
Yeah, absolutely. And K. Hwai Kwan joining the cast is phenomenal. So, yeah, just very good stuff. So go check that out. Loki season 2. I did start watching. I was actually getting a tattoo the other day, and the guy put on, I've never seen Righteous Gemstones. I've heard people say you got to watch this series on Max.
Yeah.
Danny McBride, John Goodman. There's a lot of people in this thing. It's like a comedy, dark comedy. Like a family that has like a mega church and all this and that.
Yeah.
I watched the first 3 episodes in there. I enjoyed it. I want to pick this up and keep watching it. So it's just a very interesting, again, dark comedy, funny. But, Danny McBride and John Goodman right there. I mean, geez. I mean, that's two powerhouse, comedic actors. So go check that out on Max. And I'm watching the finale last season of Fear the Walking Dead on AMC. So if you like the Walking Dead series, the original series came to an end. This was an offshoot, like Walking Dead on the West Coast, basically is what it is. But it's a different group. Except for Morgan, the guy had his staff, and the Walking Dead, he went out west. He started this the new group, if you will. So, if you like The Walking Dead, you'll probably like Fear the Walking Dead. Like I said, 8 seasons in the last few episodes now. So go check that out on AMC on demand. There you have it. So,
all right.
Okay.
Since you got Max, if you got Max, I'm telling you, you will thank me. Watch Gangs of London.
Gangs of London. Okay.
I'm telling you, man, you'll thank me.
I've been wanting to watch that one. Yeah, just haven't started it yet.
Man, it ain't for the weak at heart, man. But it's phenomenal. Phenomenal.
I don't know if anyone necessarily comments on it. Just caught my eye today. So we're into some pop culture headlines here at the moment. So Al Pacino and Noor Alafa have reached a custody and child support agreement for their infant son. So Al Pacino is, what, it is 80s or something like that now? 83. 83 years old.
Listen.
His child support, $30,000 a month.
Listen, I called this months ago. When I found out she was pregnant, together.
Oh, man. Mm-hmm.
I said, this is nothing but financial security.
Oh, yeah.
What did you want with that old man except to get pregnant so you can get financial security, a check every month, and now that she's about to have a baby, they're apart, and she's getting $30,000 a month. Really, Al? You didn't see that coming?
Plus, 6% of his annual gross income in excess of 2.5 million per year, capped at 4 million or up to 90,000.
I can't believe he didn't see that one coming.
Oh my gosh.
That's right.
I guess you're 83. You're like, how much time do I have left? I suppose. I don't know, man. I guess you are leaving a legacy behind us. I just couldn't imagine to be in a position to have to pay somebody $30,000 a month of child support. That'd be like, wow. Anyway, I don't know, man. Just keep it together here, guys. Listen to the guy coming knocking on your door. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's right.
If Al Pacino would have listened to that dude, I don't know. I just love these sports stories here. It's a simple thing here. So at last weekend, Texas Tech played Texas Christian University. So Texas Tech and TCU. So TCU was at Texas Tech apparently, and an old possum got on the field. Everything's fine, but it stopped the game. People had to round up the old possum, and it was like hissing and this and that. So it just made all this viral stuff online, funny stuff. You know what I mean? I just love when these moments happen in sport because like a squirrel gets on the field or something like that, and the game stops and the crowd starts cheering for the animal running on the field, and it's just one of those things
possum!
Where exactly
run possum.
Yeah, that's what it is. And then people put all these funny like caption this and the possum's like hissing, one of the guys like taking it off the field and this and that and the other. So it's just those little moments where we've talked about how this is how how sports can bring people together for a minute. This to me, those moments take it to a deeper level because now you're not even talking about the fans of one team or the other necessarily. It's just the fact that people are laughing about an animal. It's okay. It's not, there's no harm to the animal or anything like that. But I don't know. I just thought that was a funny. So if you haven't seen some of the footage of this thing, go look up possum at college football game at Texas or something. So the possum has now become more famous than we are.
Wow,
and that's the truth. You know what I mean? So yeah.
He took his 15 minutes of fame and ran with it, literally.
Literally, that's right. That's exactly right. He had more likes than we had probably combined on this show. Scarlett Johansson. So we hear more about these AI apps and so forth. So we talked about not super long ago, but Tom Hanks had to come out and say that there's an AI generated version of him that was promoting a product that he was not endorsing.
Right.
It's happened again now with Scarlett Johansson. She had to come out and say that there's an AI likeness of her promoting a 90s yearbook like app thing for this app, Lisa AI it's called. So it's just the audacity of some of these companies that just think it's okay to take a celebrity's image, create an AI generated thing promoting its product with no permission from the celebrity. And her lawyers had to step in and put basically a cease and desist order out there. So you just got to be more. I mean, these days you got to be more and more mindful of what you're seeing out there online, certainly. And AI is going to continue to kind of, I guess, cloud reality a little bit. You got to really pay attention on if you're using if you're influenced by a spokesperson, like a famous spokesperson promoting a product or something, you have to pay a little bit more attention these days with all this AI stuff out there. So any comments on any of this or not so much? Keith, go ahead if you have anything.
I just think it's shameful, man. You're the one that kind of hit me to the AI story here. And ever since you brought it up, it's just been blowing up everywhere. And for all the good that it's doing, the bad and the backlash, the things that I'm focused on, things like this. And this isn't even harmful, so to speak. It's wrong. But there's a lot of harm that's being done with this AI. I'm just scared of where it's going. It's costing jobs. sometimes technology is a tough thing. When something can do something faster or better, so to speak, it just cuts out a whole bunch of people. I don't know if you guys catch that football commercial that says it usually takes them weeks to calculate the NFL football schedule, and figure out who should play who, what time. And they have an AI to do it now to them just like that. I'm like, wow, whose jobs are those ever taken? You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
So I don't know. This isn't the worst thing, but it's just the nerve to do something like that. You got to know you're going to get sued.
Sure.
I don't understand. So I don't know what to think, man. Crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy. Skinner, any thoughts on that?
No, I can't say anything more. I think it's wrong. There should be some kind of, I won't say some kind of law, but there should be something against that legally that they just can't do it without permission. I don't care if you tell me it's artificial or if it's media or not. I mean, it's somebody's image. That is a real person that you're portraying, trying to promote a product. And I don't agree with it.
Yeah, we'll see. I know I've heard that the White House is trying to put some type of regulatory laws out there. I don't know the details.
Gonna have to be, yeah.
And certainly, we know that was part of the writer's strike as well, as they wanted some AI protection, which they got. But I would have to assume that's also in the actors' arrangement as well, that they can't use their images. I'm certain that's probably in their pending deal that they're trying to work on resolving. Well, AI did have a little bit of positive news if you're a Beatles fan recently here. I don't know if you've seen this yet, but there's a new Beatles song that's out there with the original 4 members. So now and then, you get the videos all over the place. You can find it on YouTube. Disney Plus has it. And I did watch it. It's nice. So it's, Paul and Ringo. The video shows them singing. A lot of it is them singing today, how they look today. And then they bring in on the video images of George and John singing with them. And then they do different versions of the 4 of them at different ages and eras and so forth. But apparently it was a demo that John had started back in the 70s. It was a demo song. And after his death, Paul McCartney, George Harrison, and Ringo Starr continued to tinker with the song. Never really finished it. And they used AI to help complete the song recently and put it out there. So it's actually kind of, it's just them kind of reflecting on the past and everything. So it is cool. It's a nice song. So if you're a Beatles fan, I would recommend you go check that out. But definitely see the video. It definitely, brings back a lot of nostalgia and kind of tugs at the heartstrings a little bit to see George and John playing with Paul and Ringo once again. So,
and by the way, Fisher,
go ahead.
That
please.
was one big freaking possum. Did
you see that? And that's something.
Yeah, that was one fat boy, man. They took that thing out back and shot it, man.
No, don't say
you
that.
They did. They shot that possum, man. I would have.
Possum ain't gonna hurt you.
Yeah, okay.
It ain't gonna hurt you. Okay. Any thoughts on the Beatles AI side? Have you guys seen it? Do you plan on seeing it? Any thoughts there, or is it something where should they even be doing that? You can argue with that, but it was members of the Beatles put this together. It wasn't like
as long as they got the rights or permission to do that. I think something like that is cool. To hear any kind of close new content from your favorite artist that is no longer maybe, I think is an awesome thing. I personally am not a Beatles fan. Never have been. I grew up as a drummer, thinking that Ringo Starr was a joke. I have recently corrected the error of my ways, studying Ringo Starr. He is actually an absolute genius with some of the stuff he did. Some of it was by accident because he was left-handed but played right-handed drums. I have a similar story. Even though I'm right-handed, I lead with my left, and it caused me some issues in high school. I had to work twice as hard in marching band to do the stuff the other kids were doing. But when I started playing professionally, I thought it was a problem because some other drummers said, dude, turn it into a a gift. You can do things other drummers can't do. And I start going left to right, and other drummers are like, how do you do that? And so I can relate to that. Rigo's the first one to tell you, no, I'm no genius. I'm just left-handed, but they forced me to play right-handed drums. Some of the stuff I do is out of necessity. But there's a lot of stuff that he does that he came up with that it was just absolute genius. And I just had to say, wow, man, I apologize. But I'm not a fan of them. But I can just imagine if you are a fan of them, to get some new content from a group that's been gone for years, I think that would be absolutely phenomenal. You know what I'm saying? So that's a good way to use AI, as long as you know, everything's legal and all that.
Yep, absolutely. Skinner, have you seen the Now and Then? Do you plan to see it? Any thoughts on that?
No, I'm like Keith. I'm not a Beatles fan whatsoever, but and I agree with him. As long as it's the Beatles doing this, I'm all for it.
Yes,
kind of cool. I'd love to see some of our musical heroes from when we were kids show back up and find something new. I think that would be awesome, as long as it's their camp or their family saying, yes, I want to do this. We will allow this to happen, not just some company, trying to make a buck.
But here's the thing, Skinner. Who would we want to see it from? Because all of the people we loved when we were kids are still doing it.
Yeah.
Old fart.
Well,
Iron Maiden's coming to town. I mean, Ozzy's still doing it with his old butt. But Metallica's still out there. I mean, who do we?
The first one that comes to mind is I would love to see Jimi Hendrix.
That's who I was thinking of. That's how I was thinking of.
Somebody like him or ZZ Top.
I would love to hear Hendrix with modern day recording sounds. That would be phenomenal. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
I think all this stuff that they keep developing, it would not surprise me. Now they've toyed around with some hologram type stuff. We know that with actual footage, but it would be surprising at some point you see like an AI licensed version of Elvis Presley. We're gonna go see the AI Elvis or something like that. It's going to be Elvis Presley. It's going to be his actual recordings, perhaps, but it could be an AI generated Elvis up on the stage singing and playing, and who knows what you're going to see potentially in the future with some of this stuff here.
They talk about the thousands of songs in Prince's vault.
Sure, absolutely.
They develop. Who knows how many Michael had his? You know what I mean? So
those would be great versions to go check out.
I
Prince,
mean, the world would lose their mind to get more Michael and more Prince. You know what I'm saying?
They would lose
their mind to do that. So
absolutely. So we'll see what happens. All right, guys. So some stuff in this week in pop culture history. Again, we're shooting this on November the 6th, as Skinner already said. Back in 2001, to me, one of the most original concepts of a television show debut. I can't believe it's been 2001 already. God, that was the debut of 24. So they.
No way.
Yes, indeed. That long ago already. Holy cow.
And Mr. Porter just got done watching it last week.
Not that recently, but yeah.
Well, I mean, obviously,
I'm late.
I mean, we know the concept, but if you're not that familiar with it, but Kiefer Sutherland played Jack Bauer, and it was a federal. What was he, like an FBI type guy or Secret Service type guy or something like that?
They belonged to an agency called.
That's what it was.
PTE or something. It was some kind of agency.
That's right. And he was protecting. The president was
counterterrorism group. Yeah, counterterrorism group. Yes.
And the unique thing about it just ran real time. So every episode, as we know, was an hour in the day of a 24-hour day.
Amazing.
And you have to suspend disbelief. Obviously, like would you really be able to be up 24 hours and be that active? It doesn't matter. But it was a whole different concept, and certainly they had a few seasons of it. They had a spin-off. They had a TV movie, some years ago where he came back to reprise the role. But it was just an interesting concept at the time. I loved it. I remember when I started watching it, I like Kiefer Sutherland anyway. But I thought, it had some definitely great actors in there. I mean, the gentleman that played the president.
Oh yeah, with the voice, the Allstate. Oh yeah, he was phenomenal.
Yeah, that dude. Yeah, Serrano in the Major League movie. That guy.
Yeah,
but just a great, interesting show. So now you mentioned that you have gone back to watch it for the first time, Keith.
Yeah, well, could kick myself because one, you're right. I don't know how you not like Kiefer Sutherland. He's just one of those guys that got the look, his voice, everything he does. He's engaging. But when 24 came out, for some reason, it just did not catch my attention, or it was the wrong time for me to watch it, so I didn't. Of course, we didn't have like all this DVR and stuff like we have now. So I don't know if it was a scheduling thing, but I just never got to watch it. Skinner said a week ago, but it was actually a few months ago. I decided to let me see what this was all about, and I was hooked. I binge watched it all the way to the freaking end, and I'm just mad it took me this long because it was just an incredible show. That first season was just like you could not wait to see what happened next, man.
Yeah.
So yeah, great.
Did you watch it in 24 hours?
No. No.
Okay. All right.
No. A little longer than that, man. Give me about a week.
Okay. Skinner, were you a 24 series fan?
Oh yeah, I watched it when it first came out. So here's a couple names for you. Dennis Haber is who you're talking about. He was the president.
Thank you. Okay.
Alicia Cuthbert, very young Alicia Cuthbert, was Jack Bauer's daughter.
Yes, I want to smack her. She was fine, but I want to slap her.
She's also in The Ranch with Ashton Kutcher. In the series with The Ranch on Netflix. Mary Lynn Rashkub, she's been in a lot of things since then. She played Chloe O'Brien. Aisha Tyler was introduced to Hollywood in 24. Yes, do you remember her in there?
That's right.
That's what kind of I was getting at is Aisha Tyler. When I saw her, and I'm like, who in the hell is this bombshell on 24? I mean, absolutely just fell in love with her as a actress then and there. Come to find out she's actually a comedian, and she's done a lot of obviously, she's done so many things. Just love that woman to death watching her on the big screen. But I was a huge 24 fan. I watched it every single week. It was nothing had ever been done like that before. It was unique. And Kiefer Sutherland, how do you not like him? Like you said, it was just the perfect storm back then.
Yeah. Very, very interesting idea for sure. Even down to the theme, it was no music. It was just the ticking of the
ticking of the
it was like the heartbeat type thing. Yeah, very cool. All right, November the 8th, guys, back in 1972. It seems like it's not even. It doesn't seem like it would be that old. I'm trying to say, the first pay TV channel appeared. HBO home box office appeared. Originally, it was just that, where you can, not unlike they do like the newer movies now, where you can pay and see a current movie at home. That was the original concept of HBO, the home box office, which makes sense. But certainly, we know the model changed pretty quickly to, rerunning movies, and eventually, trying to say, had original content. They were the first, pay channel to have some original content, I believe, and they had some pretty big hits, certainly in its time. I'm sure we've talked about some of our favorite HBO shows in the past, but I thought it was interesting. 1972, again, that's
wow. Wasn't it one of the first paid?
Go ahead.
Sorry, wasn't it one of the first paid channels that did sports as well? Remember, they did a lot of boxing, and they did the NFL shows.
HBO boxing became an institution unto itself.
Yeah. They had NHL hockey. That was the first. There was this first sports event it showed was an NHL hockey game.
Yeah,
but you're right. They had all kinds of stuff. Yeah, you're right. They had all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
I had it as a kid. I mean, it was something that, I remember the theme and everything. It was just very exciting that you were
very excited
able to watch the movies and catch some movies you just weren't going to catch. I mean, obviously these are the days of, having to rent, movies and so forth. Maybe even before that, certainly that was the first chance to see some stuff that you just weren't going to see on regular television, unedited.
Yeah, great. They took that whole thing to another level. We had what we called Star Channel.
That's right.
Yep. And HBO took it to a whole nother level. One with the sports and the boxing, and then the original content. I mean, they've hit some home runs. Some of the greatest series of all time. The Sopranos. The Sopranos was a Emmy-winning powerhouse for years, and then of course they came back and totally knocked it out the park with Game of Thrones down the road, and and they're still doing it. You know what I'm saying? They got one of my favorites, Boardwalk Empire, with Steve Buscemi. Man, if you haven't watched that one, oh my God, phenomenal series. Watchmen was on there, another great one.
Great, that's very good.
So the list goes on and on. Westworld, Curb Your Enthusiasm. I mean, man, their original content, I think, has defined them more than anything over the last 20 years.
I agree with you. Yeah, you're right. And the trendsetter, you think about that model, so many streaming platforms are trying to copy that model.
Everybody's doing it now. Sex in the City was on there. And now you think about it, everybody's doing it. Look how awesome some of the Netflix original series are right now. Hulu has original series on there. Everybody's doing it.
AMC.
Yep. Yeah.
I saw MGM Plus the other day. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. Apple Plus, as we know. Yeah.
There's some great stuff on Apple original series. Yeah.
Man, crazy.
YouTube even has a couple of original series. There's one about a girl who has abilities to transport to different places. I forget the name of it, but find it. It is awesome, man. It is awesome series.
Very good.
On YouTube.
Skinner, did you have HBO growing up, or were you still like, Dave had you in the bowling alley all the time, and you couldn't watch it?
No, I remember in the 80s he had HBO, but not in the very beginning. But yeah, I remember once cable become a thing in our house, and I didn't have to move the rabbit ears to get channels 2 through 13 on my black and white TV. We had HBO and I was able to watch, and I remember it. It was great to watch movies. Always got the TV guide from the newsstand once a week. We went to HBO to say, okay, I want to see this movie and this movie. When is it on? When I'm awake and not at school. So yeah, I remember those days very much so.
And as young men at the time, it was we were able to seek out other forms of content that we never thought we'd be able to see.
You'd wake up 4 o'clock in the morning just to catch that cut.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And you didn't have to see in between the squiggle lines to see that content.
Right.
Yeah, this movie, I know, I think it's like 1 hour and 18 minutes in. I want to see something in here. I want to sit up and watch it. Where's this at? I missed.
You couldn't fast forward, nothing like that.
You just gotta wait it out.
Wait it out, man.
That's the problem with these kids today. You know what I mean? They don't have to be patient. They gotta wait it out. That's right. It's way too easy. All this on-demand stuff.
Everything's streaming now, man. We gotta get up at 4 a.m. and just wait.
That's right.
Everything's streaming. Pause button didn't exist back then.
No, hell no. Nope. They don't know how to count change.
That's right.
The whole thing, man. I don't know. It's crazy. Yeah, I guarantee if they had to watch HBO and be patient to see a naked person on there, then they probably would be able to count change. I tell you that much.
Snappers. Yeah.
That's right.
Get off my lawn.
Now, Skinner, this movie, I'm sure with a lot of girls in your home in 2019. Now, is that right? Oh, this was never mind. I thought that was High School Musical. High School Musical was already then. This was a series based on High School Musical. Never mind. I misread it. I thought this was a debut of High School Musical around this time. That's not the case. So scratch that thought here. All right. This show I was definitely probably prominent in your household. It definitely was in mine. On November the 10th. Back in 1969.
Oh, my goodness.
Sesame Street aired for the first time back then. That show, for me, of course, I don't know exactly when I started watching it, but once I started watching Sesame Street, I was an avid watcher as a young kid. I mean, you could say so many positive things about that show, from obviously your introduction to the Muppets, to the super creative, ways to teach kids a plethora of whatever, how to read, how to count. They got into some really difficult subjects. They even got into, death and different things, but they, just a great, great kids show. Obviously still on the air now. I think I want to say it's on Max now or something like that. So, but just, all those characters were beloved to me growing up. I had Big Bird toys and all kinds of different things growing up. So, I did enjoy the Electric Company as well. That was just different. It seemed like it was maybe a little bit older. I don't know, but Sesame Street was just so beloved for me growing up. So, Keith, were you a Sesame Street kid? I mean, did you watch the show growing up?
I caught it. It was cool. I think I learned to appreciate it more than I liked it. I was a big Electric Company guy.
Yeah.
Just some of the things they had, the little things they had with the words that they put the consonants together, and of course they had Spider-Man, so that did it.
Oh yeah, huge.
But yeah, I learned to appreciate Sesame Street as I got older, but I wasn't, I can't ever recall, hey, give me an Ernie doll or Bert doll or nothing like that. I learned to appreciate them as I got a little bit older, like 11 or 12. Animal played the drums, and he had become one of my favorites. So, but I was more of an Electric Company guy.
Okay. Skinner, were you a Sesame Street kid?
I was able to learn how to count like a Dracula. Count Dracula.
The Count.
Yeah, no, Sesame Street was definitely in our household as well. I don't think there's a kid in our age group that didn't have Sesame Street at one point or another introduced into their daily life for at least a short period of time. But yeah, that thing ran for. Is it still on the air?
I don't think it is, but yes, it is still on the air today.
It's just amazing that it's been 60 years now working on it.
Mm-hmm.
What'd you say? 1968?
69.
So 69. So
54
years. Hell, there's soap opera. There's soap operas that are out there on daytime television that are just as old. So that's a pretty magnificent feat for a kids show to last that long.
Absolutely. All right. Well, we talked about HBO and the model that it introduced. And on November the 11th, 2013, Blockbuster Video rented its last rental. And obviously, they had the one store that stayed on a little bit longer in Oregon.
Out in Oregon, yeah. Yep.
I think that's still open. It is still operational. It's more of a, I don't know if it's more of, it's kind of a nostalgia type thing here, but
right.
It just, certainly video rentals were prominent in our younger years. I mean, for many years, all through, heck, high school years easily and beyond, until streaming certainly took over and began to, change the model, and eventually was a huge part in wiping out the video rentals. I hung on to the video rentals as long as I could. There was a video store locally here in the, down the road for, years. I used to take Peyton there. That was our little routine. And I really liked that routine. We'd go get a pizza and we could get a movie. And you could walk them down the aisles, old school, look at the videos, obviously, figure out what you want to watch and read the box. And it was a whole fun experience to find something and to do all that. So I kind of missed that experience until, frankly, someone came in and robbed the store one night when I was in there, literally.
Wow.
Which was a bit frightening. I didn't have any harm come to me or anything like that, but that was, that was a kind of a scary thing. And that sort of, changed the tune a little bit, but I don't know. I do miss the video rental experience. There was something fun and nostalgic, unique about it versus the streaming. I don't know, man. It's probably similar, but it seems overwhelming at times when you're on these apps trying to find something to watch. I know Netflix has that option now that just pick something for me, which is good. If you just don't know what to watch, it'll kind of pick up your routine or whatever. But I don't know. Keith, were you a video rental guy? Do you miss that experience?
Yeah,
do you still like that option or what?
I was definitely a video rental guy. I was a Blockbuster faithful for a while. Then I was a family video guy.
Mm-hmm.
And I always thought it was kind of exciting. There's a little bit air of excitement to it, going there, seeing what's out. It had its downside. Like the most popular video, they run out all the time.
Right.
Reserve it. Getting the video back in time, stuff like that, had its negatives drawback. But there was just an air of excitement of going to the video store. I remember you guys all know my first wife, Mary Ann. It was always a great thing for us, go out to dinner, go to the video store and pick something to go home and watch. Sometimes you get a snoozer, sometimes you get a, something fantastic. You had to live with it. That's the great thing about now. It could be overwhelming, but at least if it's no good, you can stop, point 30 minutes into it, and go to something else. You're right, it can be overwhelming. What I like to try to do is when I have time to go through stuff and check it out, watch the trailer maybe or whatever, and say if I like it, I like how on all these platforms you can mark it, put in my watch list, So when you don't have stuff to watch, go to your watch list and say, here's stuff I've been trying to get to for the last 8 months. You know what I'm saying? Like Raiders of the Lost Ark or something. So I like going to the video store for the most part. It was exciting.
Very good. Skinner, were you a big rental guy? Did you miss that experience?
Absolutely. That is a great recommendation, though. My watch list has probably got 10 each on all these channels because I just don't have a lot of time to watch TV. But same video store you're referring to, Fish. I used to go down there, and I remember Mom would always send me down with the cash and say, all right, pick out a new release. You had that new release section.
Yeah.
Then she'd say, go ahead and pick something from the kids section. But I remember as the old lad of being 14, 15, 16, 17 years old, and kept looking at that curtain in the back corner.
I was going to say that curtain in that back
And I'm like, I remember going, I got two more years. I'm going to go through that curtain. And then one more year, I'm going to go through that curtain.
Yep.
And then when I turned 18 years old, I went through that curtain and I went, oh, crap, what am I doing? But yes, the video store, I missed the experience. I missed the fact that you couldn't watch it unless you went and rented a video. And I experienced that with my kids as well. Michael, that will hopefully listen to this and he'll remember some of the stories that I'd taken to Blockbuster, and him and Brianna and Chelsea would just go run ragged looking for their favorite videos. So we always walked out with 3 or 4 or 5 videos and
forking down that extra money for a rewinder. Make sure it's rewound, take it back.
Absolutely.
All that.
And then you get home and all 3 of them argued at which one we were going to watch first and the whole 9 years. I miss all that. That was really a great time in my life. Yeah.
Good Gen X stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you're right. That the wall and new release, that was always the big thing. And then the staff picks. Sometimes you get the staff picks. I always thought that was interesting.
Yeah. One of my favorite Seinfeld episodes where they were going to the video, getting staff picks, and Elaine kept getting Gene picks, and Gene called her one night at home. Yeah, it turns out it was the kid.
That's right.
He goes to his house with a bottle of vodka and cigarettes.
Good stuff.
Yeah, it was a great episode.
One of my favorite memories. I had Peyton in the video in that video time. Skinner is what that store was there, and this was getting toward the end. There was nobody in there barely. Yeah, there was the guy working there, and there was a guy in front of me in line, and me. That's it. Nobody else in the store, and the guy's trying to ring up the guy in front of me.
The video store and the record store.
Yeah, there you go. But the guy gets a phone call. So he has to answer the phone. Well, he's got 2 people in line. Answer the guy's question. He hangs up the phone. He looks at us. He goes, "Crazy night, huh?"
Wow.
A phone call plus 2 people in line. That was for him. That was like, wow,
that
man.
was excitement, man.
This is crazy around here. Yeah,
miss those days, man.
That's right. Well,
new release Tuesday at the record store. You know, me and Coach Super lined up outside waiting for the new Queensrÿche album for them to unlock the doors. That was great stuff, man.
That is something to that. Yeah, it's just hard to recapture that level of excitement with something new coming out. It just doesn't happen. I mean, I do look at the new releases on like Amazon Prime or something like that. I am curious to see what's there and what's rentable, but you know what? I ain't spending $20 to rent a new movie like that. You know what I mean? I'm going to wait till it comes down. But I don't know. It's just
if you got a bunch of people or something, and it's like the old pay-per-view days. If you got a bunch of people, hey, let's watch the new so and so, and it's for $20. Everybody give $5. You know what I'm saying? You sit there and watch it. But I'm not doing that either. I've been trying to catch the new Mission Impossible, but it's $20 right now on all the streaming services. No, I'm not paying that right now.
No, absolutely not.
I'm already paying for the service. I'm gonna pay you extra $20. Stop it.
Exactly. I'm with you.
Right.
All right. Well, another thing that's not unlike the video rentals is come and gone, as is this particular episode of the It Came from GenX podcast. Keith, any announcements, sir, before we roll out here, sir?
Well, we're at that holiday time of year.
Mm-hmm.
So I will be performing in a Christmas cabaret on December 10th at the Lions Theater on Lincoln Way in Massillon. You can go on Facebook and just type in Christmas cabaret and see where to get tickets at. It's just all the great classic Christmas music, you know, Judy Garland, Dolly Parton, Elvis, some great singers. We got some great vocalists. I've been part of this show for 3 years now. The band is great. And it's a really, really nice Christmas show. It sells out every year. And it's a lot of fun. I wish I could actually see the show, but I'm always on the back playing the drums. That's how much I enjoy it. But it's Christmas Cabaret on December 10th. And that's about all I got on the book.
Very good. Well, for me, as I mentioned already, but the Convincing Idiots podcast with Dean and Nick, pop culture fun, also where we listen to podcasts, and on YouTube at Convincing Idiots. Find us there. Love to see you over there. Also, Skinner, any announcements you have, sir?
Nope. Other than we got Veterans Day coming up, so remember the veterans this coming weekend.
Yes.
With Veterans Day happens to be Miss Serenity's birthday. She's going to be 15 years old on Saturday.
Oh, my princess about to be 15.
Yeah, Uncle Keith's princess is going to be 15 years old. So we're going to her idea of fun for her birthday is to go to Dave & Buster's for the first time.
Oh, that'd be fun. I want to go there for the first time too. Also, another announcement: I'll be going.
Yeah, we're going to
Skinner household for dinner soon. I don't know when, but soon.
Mm-hmm.
I heard that you got invited, so
that's right.
Big surprise of what meal that will be that I'll be making. But
the boss said I'm coming, so
yeah. So early happy birthday to Serenity. We'll have fun this weekend.
Happy birthday, my princess.
Yes, happy birthday.
Hey, I want to say a happy birthday too. Last Saturday was a birthday. Somebody very, very special to me. I want to say happy birthday to Hallie Becker. She's down in Florida. I met this young lady when she was just a kid. I gave her drum lessons for 2 days, and I couldn't believe what this kid did and learned in 2 days of drums. She's a musical genius. She's one of the smartest kids I ever met. She is my inspiration for Hallie's House. That's our group that goes out and passes out gift bags and food for the homeless. I saw this young lady take all her own money, just line the floor up with gift bags, and asked me to drive her around one Christmas Eve to pass out gift bags for the homeless. And I was just floored that this kid is doing that. Where's everybody else? Where's some of the churches? And she inspired me to start Hallie's House. So happy birthday to you, Hallie Becker. I love you so much. And hopefully I'll see you again soon.
Awesome.
Yep. Happy birthday. So, all right, fellas, the little bit heavier of a show that we had this week, Fish versus last week.
Yeah.
With Mr. Porter coming back. And again, once you listen to last week's show, you'll understand where that comment came from.
Okay, I can't wait.
Yeah, we're glad your missionary work is it went off without a hitch.
That's right.
Yeah.
So, folks, happy Veterans Day this weekend. Let's see, we've got Halloween just came through, so the next we've got Thanksgiving and of course Christmas holidays. So
Yeah.
stay safe out there. Remember the reason for giving, as people would say. We're gonna have a bunch of family over at our house for Thanksgiving. It's my favorite time of the year. Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas. Everybody knows that I'm a family man, so this is my favorite time of the year. Even though the weather's getting colder, I still look forward to this every year.
I'm working on putting something together for the homeless for dinner. I'm running out of time, but I hope I can get with Amy Cooper and get something put together. So hopefully that'll be an announcement next week. But real quick, I just want to say early happy Veterans Day to our resident veteran, Mike Skinner. We're very proud of you for your service, and I don't ever want to let that go by. So happy Veterans Day to you, buddy.
Absolutely. Every year I look forward to that day because I get to go to have lunch with my real life hero, my father, David Skinner, who was in the Navy. My grandfathers before me, Harry Skinner and Leo Taylor. My Grandpa Skinner was in the Army.
Oh, okay.
Grandpa Taylor was in the Coast Guard. So I come from a strong group of men before me. Excuse me.
Okay, I thought you were
all
say,
military.
You get free pancakes at IHOP.
There you go.
No. I do go out to lunch with my dad and two of his friends that are also military veterans. We've been doing it for years. This year it's Charlie's on Friday. We go out there. Yes, it's a free dinner or lunch, but we do it for once a year. We all get together, talk, laugh, have a good time, and I just enjoy it. So for Brian Fisher, Keith Porter, and Michael Skinner, we are GenXers. Hope you enjoyed our rants today. Hope you enjoyed the content. We will come back at you again next week. Take care, folks.
Take care. I want to apologize for Skinner's shirt. He needed to put on a clean shirt.
Hey, this is Skinner from Came from Gen X. If you liked this video, please hit the subscribe button and like, and we'll see you next time.